got TBL recap here. Let's get right into the nooks and crannies here. How do we feel about day one, though, fellas?
I think it was good. Well, what do y'all think? I just say it straight up. I think 7 out of 10. I don't think it was the better day of the two, but if the worst day is 7 out of 10, I think that's good shit. Like,
y'all got J2 on day one?
I'm not gonna lie. I think honestly, it's tough because I think day one has the pleasant surprise factor, right? Because there's a lot of matches that we thought were just gonna be meh or okay, and they end up being good. Like Real Deal and Hustle end up being really good. Passing Units ended up being really good. Even the lower scale battles like J Love did better than we thought she was gonna do against KCJ. You know what I'm saying? But that might be day two. I'm sorry, it's a lot of battles. I'm about to say. Also, J2 is another one. You know what I'm saying? So like,
Luke Castro and Chef Trez.
Yeah, so it was a lot of matchups that end up being better than what it was supposed to. Like there was this stretch where it was just only good battles up into the Clips and Mike P part, and then that's when we kind of hit a dull spot.
I think. And listen, day two has got its issues too. You know what I'm saying? And I already told you, gentlemen, but for those watching, my fire alarm going off. We got a light in here, so we're fixing that up. But I mean, I'd say day two's got the key stuff. Like I'm all about the things that shift, right? Like what's the aftermath? Real Sikh's performance versus Illmac, that changes it up. Rum Nitty and Daylight, obviously, and Rum Nitty's performance, that changes up the game. You know what I'm saying? And then that's not even getting to the fact the best battle of the weekend, in my opinion, by far, Jay the Nightwing versus Ill Will on day two. So we don't even got some battles I didn't like from day two is what day one's got Clips and Mike P. Day two's got Clone and Elijah. You know what I'm saying? Like day one, I think it was Marv and B.A.R.S wasn't all that good. Day two's got that was in. It's got Swamp and Chess. Day two was the better day, man.
For sure.
Let's go smoke. Day one. Cappo and Snake Eyes. I'm gonna set it off. I was wrong. I apologize, Cappo. Okay,
dead wrong.
Snake Eyes to win the battle. My bros picked Cappo. Both of you brothers picked Cappo, I believe, right?
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't a situation where when I say dead wrong, you were like, it's gonna be a clear win for Snake, and I never thought it was. I never thought it was gonna be a clear win on either side. But I didn't know it was gonna be judged, or I don't know if they said it was gonna be judged, but
I didn't know. But I like that for a lower stakes battle. So
I'm gonna say this. So Cappo's first round, highly impressed. Probably the best round of the battle. I don't know how you gentlemen feel about that, but Cappo's first round, I thought he set the tone, man. I thought Snake Eyes was kind of a little bit off, and the second, Cappo messed up in the second round. Snake Eyes is shenanigans, threw him off a little bit though. You know what I mean? But I had Cappo 2-1, fellas, 2-1.
No, I think, but
you got it, Len.
No. I was just gonna say, I feel like you leave with more to learn about Cappo, or you learned more about Cappo in this battle than you did Snake Eyes, in my opinion. 'Cause I feel like that third round kind of showed you that he could add a little wrinkle to the game. I feel like the angling that he did too, and just the layered approach that he used there too. And granted, he does have to clean up the slip up in the second for sure, because that could have cost him the battle. If Snake had a better third, then we could be talking about a completely different outcome, right? But that didn't happen, obviously. But I really walked away saying, wow, Cappo gave us a really good performance in another high-profile match, in my opinion, right? With it being judged. And not believe it or not, but with Snake Eyes following on YouTube, you know what I'm saying? He draws a lot of attention. So, so for him to get a clear win, a judge win at that, on that type of card was a dope look for him, for sure.
Yeah, hey, listen, the event ain't started till Snake Eyes lost, man. So what's going on with the next time?
Oh man,
yo, what that boss Cappo
right there
with the Snake and using his sound, the Hitman thing, that his sound he did.
That hit sound bar was
hard.
Snake. I don't know if it was a rebuttal, but the whole if you really wanted it, why don't you ask me outside?
It'd be outside, crazy.
That was, I ain't gonna lie, that was heavy. But it was definitely a lighter Snake, and Cappo rose to the occasion. So
impressive Cappo, man. Next one, gentlemen, KCJ and J Love. I think across the board, we all pick KC to win the battle. I would say this though, fellas. Third round is closer when you spin the block back. I know people. I'm just saying. So don't kill me. I'm just saying, brother.
J Love fought, bro. She fought. You know what I'm saying? I gotta give J Love. I thought J Love was going to just roll over and die. I ain't gonna lie to you. J Love second and third is decent. It's just a different level of battle rapper. It's not even no disrespect. Shout out KCJ.
Yeah. That's pretty much it. I mean, yeah. That's pretty much
self-explanatory, right? Across the board, right?
Yeah.
Then we have Loso and J2, fellas. Like, I picked Loso to win this battle. Give me a small pick Loso. I think my battle J2 and
now you were
like
late. I picked J2.
Yeah, we both picked Loso, and then he picked J2. Yeah.
Okay, part of something. Let me just say this though, fellas. I thought J2's first round was really, really good. Now, if Loso supersedes that or matches that, I applaud him because I thought, like, all right, Loso, he just hit you with a dope first round. I thought Loso still got that first round, even though J2's first round was dope, fellas. I had Loso 3-0. I know people are saying about the overused of the sexual orientation bars that Loso throws out there. Get your guys' thoughts on it in a minute.
That's what I want to talk about more than anything is how stupid that is. And this is coming from someone that took J2 in the battle, but enough. It's some crybaby shit because somebody got a weakness. And every time an angle is just putting belt to ass, all of a sudden people start saying, prove you're a real rapper without beating me with the angle. Why would I'm whooping you. Like, why would I stop winning to match up? Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. At the end of the day, like, that's a part of his career. And people bring up all the angles that people went through. And they're like, well, they don't do it for 3 rounds. Like verse J2, yes, they do. Stop crying. Like, and they do it when people do it trash, they lose. Like J2 wins battles. But when Loso goes in there and kills it for 3 rounds, he kills it. An angle is only as good as a battler executes it. So as someone that picked J2 and also Loso clearly still won 3-0, J2 was good in the battle. He punched good for 2 rounds. He got beat by Loso, who at his best is better than J2. And it's just as simple as that to me. I hate that crying about the overusing angles. Get up, man. Get up.
Yeah.
Get up.
No.
I hate it.
No, honestly, I kind of knew Loso was going to take off, especially when J2 and him had the exchange in the spaces, and he was like, I'm giving Loso the shot and all that, which I know that like J2 had the hot hand going into the battle, so it's a thing to say. But as soon as like I seen that exchange, I was like, okay, Loso's going to show up with something crazy because for him, I'm pretty sure he's looking at it as like, okay, I don't necessarily agree with this notion, but he felt like we snubbed him at McCody, so he wants to make an example this year, which a bunch of battlers usually do that or whatever, but that's besides the point. So he said he wanted to make an example this year, and I feel like J2 was one of the examples that he wanted to make for sure, especially a guy that's gotten a lot of love and traction the past year or so, and even this year he started off hot. This was the best Loso we've seen in years. Yes, and while I said in my prediction that Loso, in my opinion, was supposed to win this battle, he did something that made it a good look for him. If it was like a monkey debatable and he like won the battle, whatever. But the fact that he had like one of the best performances of the weekend is what's making it impactful. You know what I'm saying? So I thought Loso was vintage Loso. Like this is probably the best Loso we've seen.
I thought it was the MVP for a while, Lang and Smo. As the battles progressed, I
think he was still the best performer from night 1. I still think that like across 3 rounds, I know that there was some more important victories, which we'll get into, but I think Loso was like bar for bar the best performer night 1. And I haven't been impressed at all with his last year. I don't think the guy was saying choking doesn't matter. It ain't no like coincidence he was choking all the time. You know what I'm saying? So to see him clean for 3 rounds at a level that we haven't seen him, that reminded me of like when he was first on the come up at bullpen or like in 2020 in the COVID rooms, like, yo, he's serious when he's at his best. I hadn't seen him at his best in a minute, so I've been down on him. But you give a performance like that, you're one of probably the 8 best performers across 40 battle rappers. 20 of them are top tier. I got nothing but props to give to Loso. And J2 wasn't even bad. So not only did you win 3-0, like you won 3-0 versus a good opponent. It's not easy to do, man.
The question is, really quick, the question is not for me, right? The question is if he can carry this momentum into his other battles. Because last year, you know what I'm saying, that weekend that he had, he felt like that was enough to kind of propel him to a different area. But I feel like you got to carry on that momentum because battle rap is always going to be a what have you done for me lately type sport. And while we will remember this performance, I just want, because I think he's talented enough to be in that conversation for Cody every year. I think that he has the skill set. I think that he, at his best is one of the most talented battlers in battle rap. The issue is the past couple of years is the inconsistencies. So the question is he going to carry this momentum over into his next battles and for the rest of the year?
Small and Lang, who did a better job, being the fact that J2 battled back-to-back horsemen? Who did a better job against J2? A-Ward or Loso? You guys had to pick.
It's like a sequel, ain't it?
Yeah.
I mean, Ward did him worse, right? So I'd figure that like you gotta go with A-Ward. But it's the same thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it's the same type of really, really, really good performance. Same approaches and everything, but they still somehow did it creatively well. But I would take Ward.
And it's funny because I'm actually the only reason why I'm going to go the opposite way is because I feel like, and you can't control how your opponent shows up, but I feel like it's impressive when you can still edge every round, even when your opponent is good. So I guess that makes it more impressive for me. So I might say Loso in that regard. But who has like the best, I guess, in the vacuum, like material and all that, I think that you could edge A-Ward. But for me, I think it was more impressive that like he did against a J2 that actually had a really good first, a pretty solid second, and an okay third. Whereas I feel like J2 with spots in the A-Ward battle was kind of out of his element. So
is it going to be hard for J2 to win battles when people are coming in attacking that all the time?
No, because he's winning battles with people attacking that. So I mean, like, that's what Smo was just alluding to. Is like I think this complaint only comes up when he's on a like losing end, right? Like I feel like, and true. And it's funny enough, I didn't like if people really had an issue with this, why didn't they crucify Twerk for his performance? If they really had an issue with it, nobody said anything when he did what he did.
Nobody said anything.
So I'm just saying, but next battle,
you couldn't have said it better, bro. He said I hate crying for no reason, bro. Like it's like you lose battles. Like that's part of the game. That don't mean it's rigged. It means you lost.
Stigmas are part of the battle rap, fellas. What you got a stigma? Anything that's in your life is gonna be spoken about, right? Might be dealing with this. We'll get that in a minute. Lou Castro versus Chef Trez. Let me say this, fellas. I did not expect when I spoke to you gentlemen about. I did not think there's going to be a standout battle for day one, to be honest. Once again, Chef Trez just amazes me. It's always going to be fuck Lou Castro for life. Not fuck Lou Castro.
Now, that shot was crazy. I ain't going to front. That impersonation had me dying. I was about to say,
I love Lou for that. Chef Trez won a battle, in my opinion, but I got to be honest. I thought Lou Castro was very good. I thought his second round price was for him. You can make the argument, fellas, that Lou Castro, like Chef Trez, won every round on some like 10-9, 10-9, 10-8 type shit. You know?
Gentleman's 30. You could argue. I think every round debatable, so I ain't even. Like,
yes, it's debatable, right? So let me before you hand it to you guys, can we make an argument for Lou Castro winning this battle?
The argument would be second and third for Lou Castro. I personally had Trez first and second. The only reason why I said us because I honestly feel like Lou Castro kind of comfortably took the third. I didn't feel like the third was that close, honestly. I feel like Trez is kind of and again, I'm not trying to take anything away from Lou Castro, but you can tell that Trez was good, but he wasn't like explosive, you know what I'm saying, that he usually is, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like he kind of was in somewhat cruise control here and there in certain moments. You can even tell with the freestyle that he was doing on the spot. But I feel like Lou Castro clearly took the third, in my opinion. I feel like the swing round would be the second round because I feel like Chef Trez took the first clear. So that's just my opinion.
No, I call it the same way as Lang. I had Trez in the first two. I think the battle's like close after the first. And like I said, even there's some people that argue Lou in the first. I'm not seeing it, but like I respect like mass amounts of people arguing. Like it's one thing when it's like a couple of their biggest fans, like it's close, you're bugging. But when everyone's like, nah, he was really entertaining too. I just think it speaks like even though I got Trez winning, shout out Lou Castro. I've been giving Lou Castro a hard time for a couple years now. You know what I'm saying? Because he was himself a hard time. He's not winning. He was winning any battles. To keep it real with you. And this 3-battle run from Chess to Loso to Chef Trez, that's really finding yourself again. You go through the come up, maybe lose yourself, get too much into the gimmicks, get too much, lean in too much to the point he's saying like losing doesn't matter. And I hate I just didn't like a lot of what he was doing, but now I have him winning before the Chef Trez battle. I had him winning twice. And then with Trez, you get one of the best battles of day one of Apollo. And Chef Trez is one of the best active battle rappers in the world. Like, there's a reason he plays 3 and 4, versus top tiers, versus mid tiers. He's just fantastic. So I got nothing for respect. I I got nothing but respect for Lou, even in a losing effort, and I hope he keeps getting top tier plates, man, because this is the best he's looked since he made SM and he doing shit like that.
Let me piggyback behind the leg real quick. Let me piggyback on what you just said. Tay Rock put a tweet out there saying he's winning the battle. Lou Castro, fellas. I don't know if you saw that.
I like it. I mean, there's other battles I like for Rock a lot more, obviously, but we know Rock's going to be active. Like, even if he cuts it down from last year, we know Rock's going to battle at least, like 7 or 8 times probably. So if he's going to do that, and one of them is like, maybe easy, we'll pray. You know what I'm saying? We'll keep sending our hopes up. And then another, like, top tier, maybe gets an iron in a return. I don't know. He's talked about it. But he's going to get mostly matchups like a Fonz, a Real Sikh, a Jay the Nightwing, a Lou Castro, them UM1 guys who are ready to be every card top tiers. So out of all the people that he could give a shot to in a sense, I'm not mad at Lou Castro. They have great energy that'll play off against each other in a battle sense. I don't know if I have him winning. You know what I'm saying? But he gives himself more of a chance when you're going to war and winning mostly and then having good fights with guys like Chef Trez.
Can we see that for a loan? You think New York would drop that for a loan?
I think Tay Rock is probably going to take and no slight to Lou Castro, but he's for sure going to take a Real Sikh or Fonz for Gnome.
Okay, all right. Okay.
Hopefully it's Fonz and John. Hopefully it's Fonz and John for Gnome, but I for sure think it's going to be Real Sikh or Fonz, like one of those two, and maybe just maybe Jada Nightwing, because he seemed very enamored with what Jada Nightwing was doing against Ill Will. So hopefully we can get that battle too.
I take Real Sikh first.
Yeah.
First, but I wouldn't be mad like if Rock later in the year, maybe it's not a Gnome or an SM, but if he takes a Jay the Nightwing or maybe headlines on like a Nexus with a Lou Castro, like that's worthy. You know what I'm saying? Like I'll tune in to watch that. But we'll talk about Real Sikh when we get to day 2. But for me, Rock and Sikh would be the next like Gnome SM level battle for Rock.
Yeah,
fellas, I spoke to Lou Castro today. His next opponent is what's the brother's name? Justice.
Not a good sign. Yeah. Oh no. Justice is nice. Justice
versus Lou Castro. Yeah. The next battle.
I like to battle. I mean, I think that now here's the trap though, right? You don't want to battle up to your opponents, and then as soon as you get like you battle in lower comp, you start going back to the things that got you in trouble. So hopefully he carries over the momentum going into that battle, because honestly, Justice has been giving some of these veterans fits. You know what I'm saying? Because he's pretty hungry, and you know he's also wildly energetic as well too. So I think that's actually going to be a good battle. But but hopefully Lou Castro handles business in that battle too, and then. And then if Justice can, make that battle look good too, then that would be 2 good situations for him this year. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Next battle. I don't want to say the 3 of us told y'all so, but we fucking told y'all so. We might have got the battle wrong because we picked Ununice and Passer. I'm talking about fellas, if you know what I'm talking about.
Okay? Yeah.
Oh, we told you so. We told you. We told y'all. Y'all was not gonna go up in there and beat no fucking Passer like he's a scrub. Okay, I'm gonna say real. I got after the first round. I was worried a little bit. Lang and Smoke.
Yeah,
I was worried after the first round. You know what I mean?
The hell out of Pass in that first round, man. It was playing out like how they thought. I'm like, is he gonna do this? And I gotta go on the timeline. Like, no one can do anything. Eunice is the best that ever lived. Like, you know what I'm saying? I thought they were gonna do all that, but Eunice really got busy in the
crazy.
First round. They got real busy. I got past 2-1, fellas. Second and third. I thought Eunice was dope. But this is and Password told me this. He needed the respect going into this battle.
Absolutely. No, I think one thing that I feel like is going to become, and I think I told Smo this off air. One thing that's going to become, I guess, the coping mechanism of this battle is, Pass was the best version ever against Eunice. That's why the battle looks that. One thing I'll say is I thought Pass was really good. You can make an argument this is one of Pass best performances in quite some time, but let's not make it like Pass hasn't had other great legendary performances prior to Eunice. You know what I'm saying? And on the other end, right, I honestly edge Eunice the battle. I might be in the minority in that, but the thing is, I can see the case as to why people have Pass winning, because he was very strategic. I think this is some of his best angle-based approaching that he's done. Really loved his third round, and honestly, truthfully. I know the first round is like the explosive one, but me personally, his third round was the round of the battle, right? So that makes it easier for someone to say, Pass clearly took the battle. But I personally think the second is close. And I still edge Eunice to battle, but I'm not mad if someone gets past the win because I feel like that second is wildly debatable and damn near preference if we're being real. Because I feel like what Pass, touched on in terms of subject matter and what Eunice did in his round, that's splitting hairs. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not mad if someone gets past the win.
Smoke, before you go, I'm gonna say this. I think the second round, I don't think respectfully, I like the stuff Eunice was saying, but I don't think he had a better blind than that future reference bar that passed.
Fire.
The second round, man. That was just amazing. But Smoke, on you, brother. You got it.
Yeah, no, I think I got past 2-1, and I had Eunice winning going in, but there's some people that just don't pay attention to, they call it the other side. And I respect people refer to like when it comes to like King of the Dot artists, like there's people who just don't give a fuck. Right. So there's like a bunch of people that were acting like Pass hasn't like he's beaten like JC in Michigan, like he's beaten Ill Will.
Chilla.
I mean, we can go back to grind time with like stuff like Hollow and all that, but he's got stuff. He beat Big K,
Arsenal.
Very notable battle rappers. So no, this is not the best Pass performance ever. And I know Eunice tried to kick that in the space after, and I got a lot of love for Eunice. I got a lot of love for his performance here. But that whole arguably the best, it's not arguable. It's not the best pass ever. But it was a really, really good pass. And I thought the one mistake, if I had to say Eunice made, because I really like Eunice's performance, I just think he caught a legend in rare form. And since he's like the number one new guy, there's like more motivation where it's like, oh, this is the guy they really say is next up. Well, I'm going to be best version. Like he's kind of giving the top tiers, like it's an equal battle. Like they gain something from taking it. They're not just giving a shot where it's like, oh, this is a new guy and I'm fully shedding light on him. Eunice has got momentum. The way he punched in the first, I always think Pass's biggest weakness is like, even though he can get in the pockets, he had the comedy, the angles. There's people that bar for bar just say more creative, powerful shit than Pass. I thought the first round was a great example where Eunice is just bombing on him and Pass is rapping really good. He can't keep up. And I think Eunice kind of rapped a bit like, he threw the backpack on in the third and kind of did the rapping. And I thought in the second, he kind of went all around too, where he had a little comedy and he was really in the pockets. I understand you were like, oh, if this is your best, I'm going to show you can do that. And Eunice is a really gifted rapper. But when you have something that's someone's weakness, he could have just done that for 3 rounds and beat him. Like, I really think that it's just a style thing, but he decided to play Pass's game. And Pass was like, yo, why would you do that? You know what I mean? I thought he angled him really down in the second and third. Eunice was really good. To me, it's the best battle of day one, probably second best battle of the entire weekend. But I did have Pass in the second and the third pretty clearly, too, to be honest with you. But I thought Eunice, like, it's not a bad look for Eunice. It's just there's a winner.
Catch it 3 different ways, like a triple entendre. Your Pass was wildin'. Pass was wildin'. I ain't gonna hold you, man.
When he said Netflix and chill, he meant it.
Oh,
that was fire.
Funny as hell, but it's a funny haymaker. Like he did really good, man.
Next battle, fellas, Real Deal versus Miss Hustle.
Can I do one thing? Can I apologize to Miss Hustle really quick? Because I'm a firm believer in, like, case in point in having to see something before believing in it. I did not think that she would do what she did against Hitman and then a week later have the performance that she had against Real Deal. Like, I was very skeptical. I'm like, Real Deal is very strategic. He knows how to have like these approaches, which we're going to talk about here shortly. So I do want to give a major salute for her, not only getting through the battle cleanly, but giving a really good performance. Like, she didn't short the fans at all. You know what I'm saying? For her to have like the performance she had against Hitman and then do what she did against Real Deal a week later, I mean, hats off 100%. Shout out to Miss Hustle for that.
So before you go, I had Hustle first and third. Okay.
No, I had Miss Hustle first and third too, and I thought the battle started out how I was worried about it. Like, I did not like the first round that much from either, and I had Hustle up 1-0. And Real Deal, I gotta give him credit. Granted, I got him losing. I called it the same way you did 3. He started some angles that I was real worried about, like the flirtatious shit. I didn't know where he was going with that. Even when he started the single mother shit, I was like, hey, where are we going? Like, I was like, it's gonna get weird in a second. But the master angler that Real Deal is to wrap that, like, to wrap it back to like, how about single fathers that don't get that credit? Or like, I thought that was creative. Even the flirtatious shit, 8 in the box, like we're blitzing, like, oh, okay, like that was fire though. So for him to be that confident in his material, where he knew that people might find it like standoffish at first, but bring it back around. Is fire at him winning the second, and Hustle's third. I didn't think a week after Hitman that she'd have like tailored material. I thought it would be deal flips and real flips and that whole necklace, Benzino. That's why the alcoholic. That's why nobody books you anymore.
The Guinness stuff. Yeah,
really good. It's another one. I thought there was a clear winner. But I gotta give respect to both sides. Like, even though I got Hustle first and third pretty comfortably, Real Deal second and third was really like that too. Much better battle than any of us predicted. You know what I'm saying? So I gotta give him
I'm not saying going into the battle we're gonna get a Mike P. Shooney version or remix yet, but I was worried a tad bit about this battle. But it was good though. It was a good battle. It was a good battle. All right, I can't wait to get you guys' take on this battle. Surprise battle. First surprise battle tonight. We got is Cortez versus Av. And let me just say this. I spoke to both these gentlemen. There was a conversation about time limits off air. Av said to me before he got mic'd up, he looked at Corey and said, "Yo, we good?" He said, "We good." I thought this is a good battle. Let me say this first off. This is a good battle, number one.
Yeah.
I got Av winning the battle 2-1. I thought Cortez's first round he got more shit off in the first round. The Av, I thought, is shit. That's why I got Corey getting the first, and I got Av second and third. But some people are giving Corey the third. I thought Av's third round was kind of powerful. I like the angle he took. That. Solid battle, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, for me personally, I mean, this battle's low-key long awaited because realistically, they called each other out since like 2017. You know what I'm saying? And it's crazy that it took 8 years for this battle to actually happen. I would have liked it under different circumstances, But one thing, I can't act like I was surprised that Cortez went over the time limit because he's a person that's like a slow cooker, so it takes him a minute to really build up. You know what I'm saying? But besides like that, I guess that little disagreement that they had in the first round, it was a pretty solid battle. It wasn't Rex and Cortez part 2. You know what I'm saying? So luckily we avoided that. But it was a situation where two veterans went in there, duked it out, and I did have Av comfortably winning the battle. His second round was the best round of the battle. He kind of, I feel like what happened was Cortez went over the time limit, and like obviously Av has his first, and then he's like, you know what? Because you're going over the time limit, I'm just gonna turn up some more, and he just went crazy in the second. So, but that was a good battle though.
I didn't hate the time arguments. I actually think it added tension to the battle that like it needed. Like it really was the little in betweens, like. Fuck out of here and this and that. Like,
smoke with all the bullshit.
You can't play. But I like battles where people really don't like each other. Like that's the energy. I mean, not real life. Like we're gonna, but a little like bitch. Like I like that. It adds some season to the battle. But I had Av 3-0. I think you could argue the second. I don't like Cortez's. He rapped longer in the first. I don't like Cortez's first. At all. Like I'm gonna keep it real with you. I thought his first, and granted, like this isn't like an awful or even like bad Cortez. It's probably worse than every round he rapped against King. Like I think his first is like an example of Cortez at his worst, where it's like word play and it's like mop and bucket. Like, all right, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like I see where you're going with this. Like it was a bunch of just very light punches to me. I love his third. His third is very, very good. I just think it happens to be probably Av's best round as well. So I had Av 3-0, but I think you can debate the third. And Av just continues to win, man. That's really the moral of the story. So
next battle, fellas, Marv One versus Arsenal, man. We want to grab this first.
Yeah, I was gonna say
I'll be getting in trouble. You got it, man.
I was gonna say I was gonna say I thought that both of their firsts were cool. I actually thought Arsenal was serviceable in the first round, but then they kind of went downhill from there. I thought Marv got better as the battle went on. You know what I'm saying? Even if it's marginal or whatever, and then Arsenal just kind of like lost steam. And I feel like that's just kind of been a running theme with Arsenal in his battles. I know some people give him the win versus Trez. I didn't give him the win versus Trez. But usually in the battles, his best round is in the first, or he starts off really hot and then like he just loses steam as the battle goes on. And I feel like Marv was, like typical Marv, with the poise and the rapping pockets and the I don't want to call it OBC. They're just older references. OBC is like overused. I'm just gonna say older references. You know what I'm saying? So, but no, I thought Marv clearly won this battle comfortably as well too. Really liked his second round. I thought his second round was the round of the battle. You know what I'm saying? But it was an okay battle. It was an okay battle. An okay performance from Marv. Arsenal. I'm just leaving it at that.
What you got,
It's just not like, and I'm not even going to get into it because I know who's going to be mad about this, but like, I just thought it wasn't that good. Like, it wasn't. Listen, Marv got a W, and he was serviceable. Arsenal gets into the second, the third. That's what you not see. Like every time with Arsenal, and I just think that there's battles where unless it's really a battle that's like big for like a murder mook. If he somehow, I know Easy wants to battle him. I don't think anyone's dying for that matchup, but at some point, I bet they're going to battle. You'll see a great arse, but otherwise, bro, he's going to pull up and rap, but what's within the raps is just not tailored. It's not anything sometimes. And I think that Marv is definitely, like, I didn't like Marv's first. His second, and I actually disagree with Lang. I think his third was actually a little better than his second. I don't think either were like 50 rounds. But I just think he had to, and I'll give this to Marv, even though I don't think these are explosive performances or explosive footage. Like, there's something in winning. Like winning, like I like winning in battle rap, and like even if it's not the greatest battle, hey, at least I'm the one that won. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna give Marv his credit there. He did good. Yeah.
Not the way really.
Come on, man, Musafa.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Because the line got a lot of laughs, and I low key laughed too. But stability, the ability to that was I ain't gonna front. I know there's bad bars in battle rap, but some is just like funny to where like I can't really say it's a negative thing because that bar had me laughing.
That was stupid. That's and they were in there like, "Oh, Smo, you don't like fun." Like, hey.
Nah, stability is like one of the funniest bars I heard in a very long time.
All the wordsmiths, they're talking about it will be the same people being like, we don't understand Daylight's lyricism, and then it's like stability. Like, all right, bro. Like, okay, all right.
Let's stay on the negativity, fellas. Next battle, Charlie Clips.
This was a rough 2-patch 3. This was a good amazing card, amazing event, and a good first day. But that back-to-back. It's not a good moment for a
You know what, though? I'm going to retract my statements, though, because the last couple of joints in day one is kind of rough here. It's kind of rough here. I ain't going to hold you, though. Who wants to grab Charlie Clips and Mike P, man? I didn't like the battle, man. That's all I got.
No, I mean, I think for me, right, because I predicted Clips to win, right? But I left. It's crazy because we knew, like, it's funny because I thought that like Clips was gonna level up and have like a good performance because he was due for one. That didn't happen. But what I did not expect to happen was for Mike P to not have a good performance either. And I know he's probably mad. I think he was mad at you because you said that you felt like he wasn't good in the battle, even though he felt like he clearly won and all that. But I'm not gonna lie to you. I think Mike P. I always consider Mike P to be one of the better anglers in battle rap, and for like his approach for 3 rounds to be Clips is falling off. He's trash. He's lazy with nothing extra to it.
No, he was right though.
He was right, but
fellas, stay with me. Do we like when battle rappers speak on a media perspective, fans perspective? Do we like that though? Do we like that?
Absolutely, but like that's like it was like a Cliff Notes version of what we already been saying for quite some. No, because I'm saying I'm thinking because Mike P said this was his retirement tour, so I'm thinking from here on out every performance is going to be great or really good, and I didn't leave feeling like outside of like a couple of lines in his first, I thought he melded in too, honestly. That's just how I feel.
Classic example of Clips just bringing the footage down. Neither of them are good. Clips is Mr. Chuckles, man. He's back. He's here again. And I ain't gonna lie. So I got Mike P 2-1, if not 3-0. Even though Mike wasn't that good. He won clear, but it's the worst battle of the night. And it doesn't just take. It's mainly because of Clips, but it doesn't just take Clips to do that. And then Clips had the game show in the third. I'm not mad at anyone that gives Clips the third, to be honest with you, because at least it was somewhat entertaining. But then the interview after with Mike, like actually being mad. So there was parts of that battle where he's like, "Yo, I'm retiring too, so I don't give a fuck. Like I've always thought you were ass." I think he really means that. I just think this is a guy. Clips, we don't even listen. He's
no,
stealing.
go, bro. Finish your food.
Clips is stealing money. We know this. Like this is a thief. This is a scammer. This is a robber. But Mike is done with battle rap, man. Like if you really just look at Mike P's demeanor, the way he talks about it, even when he has, this is just a guy who's over it. And listen, he's giving us great performances, and I get it, but like it's beyond. You're not even choking or anything. You're saying you're checked out. You look checked out, and he looks like that even in a win in this battle. That's the complete vibe. Is he is just over battle rap. So you got Clips, who's I don't even want to give it too much air because that's why he gets booked. What is it? Him versus O Solo just got announced. Like it never ends. We can't escape. But Mike too. It's just this is a battle without effort. That's really what this battle is, a low effort battle on both sides. So Mike P, clear win. If he wants credit for that, absolutely. You got a Charlie Clips win on your resume, but battle's not good.
Lang, let me ask you a question. Do you feel all these battles are going to be on YouTube or URL is going to get some of these battles?
It's going to be a mix. Usually Chilla gives like URL the footage and they usually put it on the app first and then it releases on YouTube. Because and that usually happens with a lot of his TBL content. It goes on the app first and then YouTube. So I wouldn't be surprised if like Ununice and B.A.R.S is like one of the first battles on, the URL app that they'll do first. Because Ununice is kind of considered like, because Nitty and Daylight, that's a battle that needs to hit the masses first. But I wouldn't be surprised if Ununice and B.A.R.S hits the URL app first and then a couple weeks later, maybe a month later, that releases on YouTube. But usually it's a dual thing where it releases on the app and then on YouTube.
Nitty and Daylight's on YouTube right now. I think it just dropped like an hour ago.
That's right. I think I did see something saying that.
Nitty and Daylight is on YouTube right now. So shout out to TBL for that. Like that, you want to talk about a quick upload. Like that ain't no joke. But I agree.
What channel though? Simone, tell the URL is on a URL channel or TBL?
Man, it ain't going to know. I mean, I haven't looked, but do you really think they dropped it to URLTV.tv? That would be madness. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's one thing. I think that's good business, though, because at the end of the day, it hits YouTube. So, like, we're all getting the YouTube review we want, but then I also get paid just for URL to have to drop for, 2 weeks. And I know people getting there, corrupt. They're like, oh, my God, it's actually URL throwing the events. Like, take the aluminum foil off your goddamn head. Like, you're just doing a little bit of business. You know what I'm saying? Like, if it's still going to YouTube, it's just extra money for TBL to get off their content. So I see no problem with the practice. But Lang made a good point. I bet Pass and Ununice might be the first one.
Okay. Next battle, fellas. Jazz the Rapper versus Hollow the Don. Let me just say this. I think across the board, we all picked Jazz to win the battle. I watched it back twice now. 3 times on part of stuff. I have Hollow winning round 1, edging round 1, but I got Magenta
no 3. No 3. No 3.
Yes.
You don't have him winning the first round. How do you have him winning the first round?
You got Hollow? I got Hollow winning the first round too. You know how I feel.
No. I'm so okay. Maybe it's me. But like I genuinely feel like, and again, honestly, I think it's a gift because it only takes one great moment for Hollow to for the masses to give him the round. Because I personally thought the first half of his round was, I don't know what he was doing. Like I said this before. I think I told Smo this off camera. Like Hollow, I think, and one thing I'll credit Hollow for, he's always gonna have raps on deck. But the issue with that is that sometimes he's unorganized, and sometimes what he considers the dirty batch, that's not supposed to make the raps, end up making the raps. I don't know how that works. You know what I'm saying? But
the composing line was fire.
But for one. That's one segment of his round and towards the back end of the round. Yeah, like honestly, I feel like if he had incorporated, because truthfully, I feel like if he had incorporated that, because he touched on that and then he kind of touched on the ghostwriting stuff more as the battle went on. I honestly feel like with better organization, that first round could have been way more complete if he had a touch on some of the stuff that he said in the second round or pertaining to the ghostwriting with the symposium stuff. That would have made that round special. But for the first half of his first, I don't see how people are giving him this round. I'm just being honest. I don't see it. Like Jazz was consistent in the first.
You wasn't rocking with the first round at all.
Besides, no, but I understand because that was beautifully crafted. I think the way he set that, because that sequence right there is vintage Hollow. Like him taking you to a certain direction, you not knowing where he's going, and then he lands something that's completely masterful. But my issue with that is that, like, and okay, I'll put it to you like this: at least in his first against Ab, I felt like he was landing consistently somewhat.
Okay.
But in this first against Jazz, he has that one sequence, and that's all he has. No one else could tell me what else he said in the first.
I ain't gonna lie. And here's the thing. He, in my opinion, I remember him.
I just don't understand. I'm sorry.
I remember him having a little more in his first, right? But you just said I can't name, like, no one can name anything else. I can't, brother. So I ain't even finna argue here with you. Like, the composer shit for me was the best. That was so beautiful, and I really did.
No, it was. But
I didn't think Jazz's first that crazy. But she probably, if I watched it, like I watched back a decent amount of the battles, but I haven't gotten to that one yet. Outside of, like, I watched Jazz's third again. Like, there's some battles I went specifically to, like, one spot of it, and of course we're about to talk about that. But I think the first debate, I'm not mad at you having Jazz 1-0. Like, I didn't have Hollow 1-0 clear. I just had an edge in it. But then from there, it's the Jazz show. It's vintage angling. Some people even said that she had the best performance at day one. Like, and off of, even though I think Loso's 3 rounds is more complete, to do what you did, I don't care how many times he loses. Like, it's Hollow to Don compared to, like, J2, and just it's Hollow to Don. You know, I know where he's at in his career, but that's a big win to still get. And the way she broke him down in the third, in the second, I mean, it was complete character. When she's angling, she's at her best. That's when she can compete.
Utah Jazz, Utah Jazz players and
playing with my name.
That's why you named your son Lennon. You always fold on a. Oh my god,
Jazz.
Yo, you be
that's
saying
why,
man.
That's why they say my. You're right. That's why they say my man 100. That was crazy. That was funny and crazy. Like, that was hilarious.
She was getting after it, man. So it wasn't really that great of it. It's what Hollow's been lately, but Jazz made the most of the opportunity, and she's one of the biggest winners. Like, if I had a top 5 winners of the weekend that gained the most, Jazz is someone that, I mean, you get Murda Mook saying it's time, and I don't really want to see that battle, but if it happens, I don't hate it either. But, like, shout out to Jazz because she keeps making the most out of these opportunities.
All right. Hollow second and third. Right? Let's go right quick. Was it too much ghostwriting conversation?
Like I said, man, I feel like the organization could have been there, and I guess the reason why I'm so critical is because, like, we revere Hollow as, like, one of the best anglers, one of the best strategists in battle rap, and I just feel like Jazz ran circles around him in terms of strategy and angling and approach. You know what I'm saying? And for me, yes, I thought, like, this was, like, right up there with the DVD man shit. Like, I'm not gonna lie, like, I'm just like, yo, like,
you're still call that shit fire, Lang.
All I know is that the Hollow that I know and love, I don't know why it seems like he's having a hard time, like, knowing what's going to work and what isn't. I thought that he had this, like, down to a T, and I don't know if he does anymore. Because for every time he gives you an A-War performance, right, he circles back and then gives you a JC performance. So I don't know. Like, I think that I guess from his vantage point, anytime he touches on the angle is going to be good because people are going to give him the benefit of the doubt. But, like, he can't just assume that now because a lot of people don't think that Jazz Rap has a ghostwriter. And I don't care how much you say it, it just doesn't make people believe that she has a ghostwriter. And it wasn't even creative. You know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't even like at least Hollow could be. And my thing is like, even if you're gonna take that route, Hollow is extremely charismatic and comedic. It wasn't even funny. I'm like, okay, if you're gonna take that route, at least make me laugh with it. Like, it wasn't funny, it was unoriginal, and on top of that, it's not like you had any expose stuff that would have people talking. It wasn't like you had some masterful reveal. It was just, I have a little bit of evidence.
How did you guys feel about her name dropping schools or whatever she did in Houston, and Hollow being Hollow to the punch on that aspect of it?
That's what I'm saying. I feel like he got, like, she was way more strategic. She had better approaches. And again, and we said that this was going to be a battle that comes down to angles and approaches. Yeah. And I felt like I don't know if Hollow diagnosed or studied Jazz as well as he thought he did. I think there's like a major miscalculation. So I think, and it shows. It shows.
Woo! All right.
Tough outing for Hollow. Tough outing.
Next battle, fellas. 40 bars versus Geechee Gotti. Let me just say this first.
Good
I got
guy.
Gotti with the battle.
Yeah.
2-1 or 40. 2-1, I want to say.
What round did you get 40? Out of curiosity?
I want to say edge 40 the second round.
Okay.
Notes. I'm gonna give it a second round. Geechee,
Okay.
30 also though, to be honest. Let me respectfully for it. You could just give me a 30 also. I want to go here first. How do you feel about Geechee's approach? Let's go there first.
I thought Geechee was actually solid in the first round. I didn't think he had. I didn't think his first round was all that bad. I thought he was solid. Standard. Back-to-back punching type style with a little bit of disrespect in there. I thought his first was good, and then you knew he was gonna. Yeah, you knew he was gonna go into cruise control after that. You know what I'm saying? That's usually what he does in these type of matchups, and it was honestly. After the first round, it was honestly 40's battle to win, but we know that 40 hasn't really been how she's supposed to be in the last like several battles, honestly. So, and I don't know, it's just very disheartening to watch because it's like you're talking about like a lady that is known for beating the men, right?
Yes,
and that was like her. Not only was that like the major selling point as to why she's one of the top female battlers in battle rap, right? Because she could very well lose to a female counterpart and then beat a top tier guy weeks later, and now she's losing on both ends. Like it's like she's losing to
Myers battle. Now this battle, Unice coming up.
Yeah, it's
a fact.
Yeah, and honestly, I feel like it's the reason why it's disheartening is because you can just tell, and it always sucks when it's like happening to someone that we know their potential is very high. Like you could just tell, because I think Smo talked about Mike P being checked out. You could just tell that 40 is the same thing.
Yeah,
like
man.
her pacing, her flow. Like we already know, like she's very like it's very spoken word poetic. But this was literally like you could just tell, like she was just going through her mind, figuring out what rap she wrote the night before or a week before, and if she remembers it, great. If she doesn't, oh well. Like it's very hard to watch. But Geechee won his battle cleared. But
I agree. I think Geechee won clear. I don't even think he did anything like overly special. And I think she could have won, but she didn't choke in the first. But like the way she cut around, might as well have. You know what I'm saying? She already didn't have a crazy round, and people are trying to say it wasn't a choke in her third because she got it back.
She mishaps in the third 40.
Y'all make me sick to my stomach. I want to throw up when I see some of you talk battle rap, man. This conversation around choking and now this whole they don't try to twist the whole game. If they get it back at some point, it's not a choke.
If that was the case, I'm about to say if that was the case, then Newborn would still be like relevant. If that was the case,
they always equate it to something that doesn't equal. They're like, you let Lux choke in the first versus Cow. Shut up. I'm not debating no more. Just shut up. You know what I'm saying? It's just stupid. She choked the battle away. She could have won the battle. She had better material in the second and the third. But you cannot win a round. You choke it. It's very simple. This is not a debate. This is not some revolving. Maybe in this, no. You choke, you lose that round of battle rapping if your opponent doesn't. I think it's that simple. Battle's not that crazy overall. It's what we thought. When we all talked about it, we thought we kind of let the jokes fly on day one. Still overall a good event. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But this is what I'm saying. The end of the event between 40 Geechee, Marv Arsenal, and Clips Mike. We give credit to the winners of said battles too. They're just not that crazy battles to end day one. But I think still overall a good day. And I had Geechee 2-1, but even for him, like it's just another day in the office.
Yeah, another day. It wasn't a battle. I don't think we had high expectations for Geechee Gotti.
Nah.
Respectfully, I don't think we had high expectations, right?
No.
All right. So that's day one, fellas. Let's go day two, man. XL versus Sheet Happens. Listen, I had Sheet Happens 3-0. I got XL with 30. I mean, she with 30.
Yeah, I think you can make a case, I guess, for the second for XL. But I had Sheed winning clearly. I thought XL's performance was solid. Same thing with Sheed. He kind of turned up in spurts. You know, I think Sheed is always going to be not always, but I think Sheed is always is going to more often than not have a hit or miss type style because the delivery is kind of off kiltered, right? And then like there's certain concepts that he utilizes that he doesn't always fully wrap up the greatest, but when he's on, he's on. You know what I'm saying? I feel like this battle, there's peaks and valleys, but overall, I think that this is a net positive for him. Another win, in my opinion, in the win column for him this year against Excel.
I thought Sheik's third round was the best round of the battle. His third round was the best round of the whole battle, in my opinion.
He's just a better battle rapper. Man.
Yeah.
They both have pens, but one guy has a pen and like the other stuff too. And I think it was just a great example that he controlled that room from first to third, even without being like an incredible version of himself. So I call it the same way you guys. Sheed 3-0. It's just as simple as that. And he keeps that momentum after the Jay the Nightwing battle. So shout out to him.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Next battle, Lang. Talk to me. We got Danny Myers versus Quest McCody.
A pleasant surprise because truthfully, but I can't really. I'm gonna give Quest more respect than that. He's been really good in his battles, even if you have him on a losing end or winning end. He's been pretty good, and against EFB counterparts, Rum Nitty. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I wouldn't go as far as to say like I consider this a grudge match because they had diss tracks and all that, but I will say that like this is competitive. This is the competitive nature that you still need in battle rap, right? Even on this type of scale. And I feel like Quest actually had Danny in Danger bars, but Danny in Danger's in the first round though, just because like this first round, I was like, okay, he's really clicking. Danny has these moments where he's in his rapping pockets, not really landing anything, but he's like just getting into his multisyllabics. But then another person goes and then they kind of turn up and then he proceeds to turn up. His second round is, I think Smo said this on Twitter. He said this is the Danny Myers experience, right? Starts off with a litany of rebuttals, right? Just nothing's really landing, and then
rebuttal's okay. It was
but then he eventually lands one, and then that's when it's like when you start the car and like the first turn the key doesn't work, the second turn the key doesn't work, then the third turn the key works, and then you just vroom off. But that's what I feel like the battle happened.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But
he landed one joke to start the battle, walked to the crowd. Hi, I'm Danny. I'm the god. I'm like, he's a different type of guy.
Nah, but I mean,
it comes down to the third round. No, is 1-1 going to the third round. Or what you like in the third? Did you like Quest approach about same angle conversation?
I thought
super personal too. Quest
I thought that Quest's third was actually pretty solid, and he showed more conviction than I've seen him do before. So he was like very like serious too. It wasn't like he wasn't joking at all in his third. It was hella personal, honestly, and I wasn't expecting that.
Parenting skills 101. That's what he was on.
Yeah.
So I ain't gonna lie, Danny having that rebuttal, and I've been saying this since the day it happened versus Shug. The whole my daughter's just
pole swinger.
It's very questionable behavior. I ain't gonna lie, like that.
Yeah.
And a lot of love. I got Danny winning this battle pretty clear too. I got Danny winning the second, the third round. That was one point from Quest where I'm like, maybe got over the top personal. I think like when you get too deep sometimes, especially with someone that's been through so many personal angles already, like a Danny Myers, how are you going to do it like super creatively in a sense?
Right.
And I just thought Danny was better. It's really a really good Danny. And I know another person we were critical of last year, but it goes to show how much this Apollo card meant to people when you had a lot of great versions of these people. And I think Danny was really, really respectable. This is just a good old fashioned good battle. Like, it's not the great standout. It's not a bad battle. I just think they were both solid, and Danny was just a little bit better bar for bar. So I had Danny 2-1, second and third.
Lang, Smo, how do we feel about these battles not being quote-unquote 90 seconds? None of these battles.
Honestly, man, I will put it to you like this, man. It for sure sucks as you look up at the clock and it's 11 o'clock and we still haven't gotten the main event. But for real, in the moment, though, nobody cares if a battle is like dragging for real if it's good. Like, honestly, I mean, I know Smo is different, but I'm saying if the battle's good.
I talked about it in my review, man. And I think the delay killed them more than once they ran the battles, they were running them back to back really well.
Yeah.
But you can't have a 2-hour delay. You just can't afford that because it's too many nights in a row. I was exhausted. And I'm surprised. I mean, like, I'm always going to come up here and have the show with us where we break it down. But, man, after I did the Media Daylight review, I was disgusted with Battle Rap. You know what I'm saying? Like, I couldn't, like, get away from me. And just because it's 10 hours, after 10 hours, it's not a watchable experience. And I really hope for Murder Mook and Hitman Holla, no 2-day event, no 10+ battles. Give me 6, 7 if you're really feeling rambunctious, but give me 6 really good battles. Let's watch battles for 6 or 7 hours and like go see our families, because it just, for me, it ran on a little bit too long. And look at all the good battle rap we talked about without talking about that part. I really want them to fix that runtime, because I feel like there was energy in the building, clearly, because shout out to the Houston crowd, they're incredible. But if we're at home, man, like, yo, there's some people that didn't see Chilla and Verb. There's some people that didn't see Geechee and 40 bars because we're exhausted. That's the one big thing I take away from this event. But, you know, Danny and I wish people stuck to the 90 more. Shout out Av, because it was a big deal to him. But Danny and Quest is still a solid battle. It doesn't take away from it. Just something for TBL to work on, in my opinion.
All right, fellas. Next battle, Elijah Straight versus Clone. Let me just say this. I think we all picked Elijah Straight, I think, right? Going to the battle.
I did.
Boy, right?
I picked Clone, but I was
on an island.
Yeah.
Let's start with Clone. Go ahead, man. How do you feel about Clone?
I think I picked Clone because I feel like last year, even though he didn't quite make Cody, he was on the verge of making it. I thought last year he was progressing towards a certain direction. But after the Tay-Rock battle, man, I don't know what's going on with him. Like, I feel like he hasn't really. Well, for one, right, like he's already behind the 8 ball because he's not really changing his flow. And I know some people like hate the way that he raps, so he's already have to deal with that portion of it.
Right.
But when you're rapping that way and you're not bombing, it makes for an ugly combination. It just makes it very monotonous, and it makes it almost like, well, not almost, it makes it pretty hard to listen to. And the fact that you choked in the battle too is like. And both of them weren't clean, so and then that made that unwatchable.
I thought Clone got thrown off a little bit, right? I mean, he tried to put it on Elijah. I think during the battle that he got thrown off.
No, it was a vet move. He just looked at the crowd and said, "Stop talking! Ain't nobody talking to you, man."
Yeah,
ain't nobody.
Yeah, nah.
Nobody's talking.
It's bad. It's bad because I feel like Clone was really headed towards a certain direction, and I was a person accrediting him for being a person that knows how to like beat the people that he's either eye level with or beneath in comp, or people that's below him in comp. But I had losing to Muab. I'm about to say like, and then Wusa as well too. So it's like I don't.
Forgot about that.
I'm about to say, so at this point, I'm not really sold on him anymore. Like I was last year. Now I don't know. And on Elijah, and it's like, this is the worst way to build into the Nitty battle. Like the literally the worst way to build into this battle.
There's no good way to go. I don't think there's no good way he's gonna go to the Nitty battle.
But you could at least start off with a fire performance or serviceable performance before going into it, you know. But I don't know. Overall,
I'm only saying that because he's battling Rum Nitty, right? And people say he's a clone of Rum Nitty. So that's what I'm saying. Him going into that battle alone is it's
going to be tough. But at least what he could have did was just have a really good performance. Okay. And mind you, the material was never an issue with Elijah. He still has some crazy bars I liked in the battle, but like the cleanliness has been an issue for him the past couple of years, though. And sometimes it's not even him flat out choking. It's like a major stumble. It's like a slight stumble, but then it leads into him choking. I don't know how that works. It's like he'll stumble over like the smallest word, run it back, and then lose it all. Like I don't know how that works, but yeah, man, I was just hoping for more in this battle. And truthfully, a lot of people thought this battle was going to be pretty solid, considering like the back and forth that they had and how.
It'd be a good punch fest. I thought he would like it. Like,
but it wasn't that. So
I wasn't big on that battle.
I had Elijah 3-0. And I mean, listen, he's a Nitty impression. Like, this is not just the bar structure. It's his mannerisms. It's his voice inflections. Everything he does is Rum Nitty. Now, he's pretty good at it. Like I think he's built positive momentum. I'm one of the few people that had him winning that battle versus Danny Myers on Mass 6. Like I think he's got him in Foots is incredible. So it's only going to get you so far though when you are just like you are like Rum Nitty. You know what I'm saying? And people are saying they don't see it. I don't know how you don't see it. For me, it doesn't take me all the way out of the experience because he's still writing really good stuff. He doesn't curse in his bars because I mean I believe he is a Christian battle rapper. I think that gets lost in the mix.
Yeah.
Like, he kind of makes it a bit harder on himself. Has really good material, man. This battle's just not the greatest example of it. He still walks away with the W. Neither were clean, but Clone was actually choking while Elijah was stumbling. And, you know, it just is what it is. I think Clone is one of those, like, mid-tiers go through highs and lows like this. Last year, big high, come back down to earth a little bit this year. So hope Elijah does a lot better versus Nitty. I think he will. I think he'll be more clean. He should be. But we'll just see. Not a great one though. Not a great one for day 2.
And usually, really quick, because I know we're gonna end up talking about Elijah and Nitty as time progresses or whatnot. But I feel you know what the funny thing about this whole thing is that usually punchers get stigmatized early for sounding like another high profile puncher. Case in point, B Magic sounds like Conceited. Nitty sounds like B Magic. Now we have a situation where Elijah. Right. And now we have a situation where Elijah sounds like Nitty. So I'm not saying that it could become a time where Elijah may develop his own sound and eventually break out into being a high profile battler. But I will say that there has been times where like every high profile puncher you see ends up being considered a clone of someone else. I think Fonz went through that for a little bit with Av, but
yes, he did.
So.
That's a good point. That's a fair point too. So maybe it's a hallmark that Elijah will get because content wise, he can write some things other people can't write creatively. But I just think that there's a ceiling when you're like you truly do sound that much like another person, especially when you're going to battle them. Like I think we're going to see the difference. So.
Next battle, fellas. Mad Flex versus JC. Let me just say, I have Mad Flex win the battle. All right. I like how Mad Flex set the battle off with how he walked up on JC, though JC the back. I thought it was just clever the way he set up the first round and everything like that. I thought JC was dope, man. When you spin the block back on it, and obviously you're not gonna catch everything JC says on first watch, right? But it's either 2-1 or 30 for me. Show. I'm not gonna hold y'all, yo.
I'm with you, 3. I'm with you. I'm right there with you with that one.
Yeah, man.
I might be on island then.
You got JC?
Yeah,
and again, because I heard what Matt Flex was saying, and while I do think there's some merit to it, because he pretty much was saying like, yo, when it comes to JC, they're gonna find a way not to give me the win against him or whatever. And I do think that like, and while I do feel like there's a little bit of woe is me in there, I do think that JC has a strong fan base and they always find a way to give him a win, even in battles where he clearly lost. But in this battle, I genuinely think that rounds the first and second particularly are close. I gave Matt Flex the third clearly. But I thought
free the wave that turned his back and what is it? Free the wave and let him out, then send him back to jail.
Then send him back for what he did to you.
Yeah. Right. No, they did. But I think for me though, is that like when JC is another person that looks really great on the watch back, and I actually watched this battle back probably the second most out of all the battles because like the champion goal has like the leaderboard stuff, and I'm like trying to keep my integrity with that. But nonetheless, I watched this battle a bunch of like 2 or 3 times, and I think what it is for me is that like JC is like so great at like those one-liners or jabs, and they eventually build up over time. And then when you really write it out on paper, it's like, yo, he's really landing at a consistent rate. Matt Flex has really great concepts, and he knows how to like make those concepts work. I think for me, I just edged JC the battle in the first 2. I honestly thought that JC kind of comfortably took the second. One of my favorite lines from the battle was it's Mr. Flew in Delta and then took a spirit back. Like that was crazy. And then I forgot to set up, but which one of you guys want to solve for X or you know what I'm saying? Like he had a lot of stuff.
Round two.
I'm about to say he had a lot of stuff, man. And I feel like
the Hulk Hogan bar was cool also.
Flex to the side. So I feel like it was a situation where like again, net positive for Matt Flex because I feel like he opened up a lot of eyes if he hasn't already. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think this is a negative or this is a bad look for him by any means. But I just edged JC the battle. You know what I'm saying? And I see why people give Matt Flex to win. A 30, I don't really agree with that. But if you have Matt Flex winner, I'm not mad at that.
I think I had JC in the first, but you could definitely argue it. But I just think it's a W. The one thing that lost JC the battle is something that's lost him a couple other battles too. Just rapping so slow. Like his pace was so slow. It's like monotonous after a while. And it reminds me of when he used to feel like he kind of got away from it last year, and that's what helped him have a better year. But
I know
every line, like you're losing. You know what I mean? Like it's good performance, but like you're hurting yourself trying to overstate. Let us call you great. You know what I mean? Like because when you do it too much,
greatest.
yeah, and it was just a little bit much. So I thought the Matt Flex won the battle. I think it's a good win for Matt. I always think something in his career is it's been harder for him to win like his biggest opportunities. I think JC is just a good example of if you're matching him up and it's writer versus writer, you really run him with people, man. So good W for Flex.
All right. Official versus Shyrack. I had official win this battle with a 30.
Fire.
We spoke. Me and Lang off air spoke about this numerous times. I was worried about official going to this battle. God bless the dead her mom, R.I.P. to her mom and everything like that. I didn't mind.
Perform under that, bro. That's some real warrior. I mean, like to perform losing a mother or a father. You know what I'm saying? Like very few got those types of capabilities, man. Utmost respect for official.
What you guys want? I mean, Lang.
Yeah, man. I was very pleased with her performance. I thought it was a really good performance, honestly. I liked it more than her Big Ice performance last year. Yeah, I thought that she handled this battle how she was supposed to. If I'm being honest, I thought Shyrack would be a little bit better in this battle. I feel like she took a minute to heat up. Yeah, I thought she took a minute to heat up a little bit, but to me, this was more about official just being lights out. I mean, the closer that she had in the battle, I'm not going to repeat it because I'm a gentleman. You know what I'm saying? but you know what I'm saying? Like she was just clicking on all cylinders. And also too, I got to give her respect for this as a performer. You could tell like her voice was literally gone, and she still fought through it. It gave you a good performance, right? But I will say that Shyrack had a couple of lines that like I really,
the
rocked
iPhone
with. The iPhone joint was crazy. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. But official with in my opinion, with the ladylike sweep. And yeah, another win to add to the profile. And I like her and Coffee. If they can lock that battle in for a gnome as well too, or something like that, I'm here for it 100%.
I'm with you on that.
Yeah, 030 says more about O than it does Shyrack. I just thought it was a really, really great O, even though we kind of predicted for it to go this way. She's got Miss Hustle next, and I don't know. She's going to have battle Jazz, Hustle, Official,
KCJ.
And it's just like people are like, after all this, she's going to be a monster. There's not going to be anything left to do. After all of this learning, where are we going to apply this knowledge is kind of my issue with it. Is like she's getting force-fed plates. And I just think that's kind of when there is a female that's like getting any momentum in female battle rap, it's already hard for battle rap to create stars, let alone female battle rap. So they kind of just give her all the plates. I just don't think she's ready for these. I didn't think she was ready for Jazz. She wasn't. I didn't think she was ready for O. She wasn't. And they got her booked now versus, TBL shows her a lot of love, man. Might have a manager, you know what I'm saying, that's involved with the process because she is on everything. You know what I'm saying? TBL related, win or lose, and it's been mostly lose recently. I still think she's a good battle rapper, man, but these are tough matchups to get before you really like worked your skills there. So 030 though, with a heavy heart too. She's low-key a standout performer, so I got nothing but love and respect for Official's performance. She's looked great the last year and a half.
I want to pick up what you said, Samo. I think really though. Maybe they should have spread those battles out, man. With Hustle and now and 40 and Bardashians. She battled all the Bardashians before a lot of females did. Other females did. You know
and I was gonna say that like with this, it's like there's a way that you can build up a person by feeding them plates, but you can feed them like eye level type situations. Like I still feel like there's other matchups out there. It could have been her and C3 or her and like a couple other people, you know what I'm saying? Because I like her versus
right. I would have taken that, and I want to give her some credit. It was a long time ago. She did beat KCJ.
Yeah.
So like, and that was like the
He's
first
2-1
of it. So like, that was
2-1.
that was a pretty good. That was a pretty good look. But then from there, it's just been like, just because she did that does not mean like Chaz and his hustle dog. You know what I mean? Like,
I would say that
like
she was good against Shuni though. She was very good against Shuni though.
I like her with Shuni too.
Very good.
It's so tough because it feels like one of every four is like that.
Yeah,
and
right,
like,
right.
I get why he's getting booked, but one out of every four is like,
Chaz.
you know what I mean? So it's just like, I don't know. I sound like a harsh critic for her. I gave her the most love in 2023, and she plays top 6. I know that she had so much to say about us and LTBR, but like these performances are just kind of like feeding what we're saying. Like, it's not that you're not talented, but there's a way to go about this that puts you in a better position. So when you get Miss Hustle, maybe you can beat her. You know, when you get official, maybe it's a bigger battle. Maybe you got a chance, but it is what it is, man.
All right. One of my favorite battles of the weekend, I got to throw it out here. Ill Will versus Jay the Nightwing. Let me go ahead first, fellas.
Yeah.
Replay value.
Yeah.
Ready for this, fellas? I'm not mad if somebody attaches the C word to that. I don't throw the C word out there. Yeah, I'm not mad. No, I'm not mad. If someone said they felt the C word with this battle.
No, I'll put it to you like this: like in the building, things are a lot more amplified. So if it's like an 8, it feels like a 9. If it's a 9, it feels like a 10. And if it's like a 10, like a legit 10, it feels like outer worldly. You know what I'm saying? So, but one thing I'll say, man, is that shout out to you, because I feel like if without you, I wouldn't have switched my vote, because we didn't do it on camera. But without you, I wouldn't have switched my vote to Ill Will at the last moment. Because I was like, why is Ill Will a few days before the event trying to talk to 3 about this battle? He's been quiet the whole time.
He called me. Right. He's like, yo, I want to get him. Like, okay, let's go. So
he's been quiet this whole time. Didn't say nothing about the card or the event, and all of a sudden he wants to talk to 3. That told me all I needed to know for that battle. But here's the thing, though. I knew that this battle was going to be good because, for one, I wanted this battle since 2020. Like, they crossed paths. When they crossed paths, I think in like some interview or something, I'm like, that's the battle I wanted. Instead of it being instead of it being Ill Will versus Your Honor, it should have been Ill Will versus Jada Nightwing in 2020. That always felt that way, and this is why. These are 2 of the most diverse battlers in battle rap. Jada Nightwing is battle rap's chameleon, where he can literally make every battle a style clash, regardless of who he goes against, is going to be a style clash just because of how he is as a battler. And Ill Will is like you've coined him, one of the most diverse battlers in battle rap. Probably has the best versatility, can freestyle, can joke, can bomb, can have a little bit of intricate pin, but also have that simplistic stuff that you can kind of catch on the fly right then and there. This battle was amazing. I think one thing that I want to accredit Jada Nightwing, and I think I told Smo this off camera too, he needs more like credit for like his aura and presence, because a lot of people say like, you know, he has a witty pen, you know, he's very creative and all that, but that presence and that poise that he has. Will is bombing on you in his round, and then you just come back and say some slick shit for like 5 minutes straight. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I think that's what adds to this battle, the fact that you get everything you want in this battle, 2 different types of styles, right? Elite lyricism on both ends. And then if we're being honest, it's a beautiful moment, because we always like a comeback story. We always like when a person that was at one point in time not doing what they're supposed to do have a bounce back type performance. Ill Will's third is one of his best rounds in damn near 2 years. You know what I'm saying? So that was dope to see. And then,
before you go, Smoke, I want to say this to y'all. Is Jay the Nightwing right now on his way to Cody?
He has a strong case. He needs the plates though, but he has a strong case with the 2 battles that he got.
Yeah, I mean, you got to think his last like 6, from the Mad Flex battle to the Real Deal to the Gotti to Sheet Happens to Ill Will, beautiful, like just like an immaculate stretch. And 2 of those happened this year. And I also, like, I'm just gonna say right now, I had Jay the Nightwing 2-1 edge. I feel like I'm in the minority. I feel like a lot of people had Ill Will second and third.
I got Jay too.
But I think it comes down to the second. Will is like, that's a career highlight, best of Ill Will type of third. And I had Jay winning the first. And I'm just going to have a couple takes because, like, I've talked so much about this battle. I think so highly of it. I agree with you three. I don't know if I'd flat out call it a classic, but I'm really not mad at anyone that says it was a special battle. And that's what classics are. It's a feel. It's not because a popular battler. Like, a classic is something that it's hard for me to describe what it is. And then you see it and you understand it. Like, oh my God, yeah. So that's just how great that battle was. I think Jay the Nightwing is the best active pen in battle rap right now. I could, that's not including, you know, Loaded Lux. Like, all right, I get it. So
active. Keyword is active.
Yeah, but like, I don't. Maybe Nitty, you know, you throw in there Nitty and Sikh, but even them, just as a pure pen, as battle rappers, I probably have them above Jay. But as a pure pen, I just think Jay is like. And all his peers, like Twerk, he's a top 10 pen. I think he'll a top 3 writer of all time. Like, he just goes about battle rap in his own way. I love what you did earlier, 3. I caught that, talking about his presence. He's got some Pat Stay to his game, man. He really got some Pat Stay influence. And I think he's finally, after being so great, we know Jay fell off for a minute. He was meant to be a top-tier battle rapper. He should have been there years ago. It's really his own doing that he's not. And we talk so much about people that don't give effort. He looks like he's loving the game right now. He looks like he's loving what he's doing. He's in his zone. His creative freedom is there. And he's the type of guy that I want mostly big names and big matchups on the Mocha card. If we get something good from Jay the Nightwing, throw him back in Houston, man. I'm not mad for 1 second. And then as for Ill Will, I think it was a little over-exaggerated how bad his year was last year. But hell, he said it was one of his worst years. I don't think that. I think you've kind of done worse sometimes, Ill Will. Like, I think you had some good shit still. But nothing like this, man. He was down.
He took Tay-Rock's the Emmett Till bar, freaked the Emmett Till bar. He freaked the Hash Brown bar. That's my Jay the Nightwing, man. He took
the nose running bar too. Like he had one of my favorite lines. He said Will shouldn't be mad that he should be mad that Jada put him in this position because he's in a dead man's place, or he's just filling up a dead man's place. It was like something crazy. Like, Jada Nightwing has like these lines that you catch on the surface that are great, but then when you play it back, it's like, damn, Jay, like, that's not even a punch, but that is ridiculous. Like, and again, I think it's just the delivery is different. I think the fact that he goes at his own pace makes it fire too. But I personally had Ill Will second and third. Really? I think the difference I think the difference for me was I felt like second round. Funny enough, because I think Smo has said that, like, Will is known for kind of having air balls here and there that kind of can take momentum out of his rounds. I honestly think that his second round was a little bit more consistent than Jay's. I feel like Jay towards the back end of the second. Well, for me, I feel like towards the back end of Jay's second, he lost a little bit of steam, just a little bit, a tad. I thought Will was bombing in the second, and the third, obviously, what it was. But great battle, and I knew it was going to be great when Will had the first.
Kick the bucket. You not even wearing a hat. Like, Jay the Nightwing was wild.
No, he was, and I knew. But that's the thing. I knew it was going to be a good battle because Will gave you a good first, and then Jay not only matched that first, but surpassed that first with like his cool demeanor. You know what I'm saying? But easily the best battle, in my opinion, all things considered. We're going to talk about it later. Easily the best battle of the weekend on that card, and arguably the battle of the year. I'm not mad if someone says this is the battle of the year. I'm not mad. I'm not mad. I think it has the moments that you want. I think it has that back and forth that you want. And, it has everything that you would want in the battle. So I'm not mad if someone says the battle of the year.
Jay the Nightwing versus Sheet Happens. Jay the Nightwing versus Ill Will. I like what the brother's doing, man. Love what he's doing. Next battle. Real Sikh. First Illmac. Talk to me, fella. I got Real Sikh with a 30. Continue. That third round is. I like Illmac's third. I love Illmac.
Illmac's third is really
third round is debatable. Third round is debatable.
And I liked it specifically. I liked it specifically because when we talked about Nitty and Real Sikh, and I talked about it in my review.
Real hip hop.
winning versus Real Sikh because I thought his third was kind of silly. Like this whole like if he couldn't like go outside and rap right now, like I don't. First of all, he's got more music than you and all that, but like, what are you talking about? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't very direct, and I thought Illmac did a great job of like, who is Real Sikh to tell everyone what real hip hop is because he does multis. You know what I mean? And not that I have Real Sikh winning very clear. I think he's probably a top 5 battle rapper in the world right now. So obviously, I have a lot of respect for what Real Sikh's doing, but I just love that angle from Illmac in the third, but. Even with that, I agree. I had Real Sikh in the first 2 clear, dominantly, deadly. It was a whooping. It was surgical. He was getting into everything. I think some people didn't like his second angling a lot. I thought he executed it masterfully. And I can understand if you argue Illmac in the third because they just both went upstairs like that. But it just goes to show when Real Sikh is really demanding these battles, he's making the most of them. He came up here, he said, I'm Illmac's worst nightmare. And he rapped like it, man. So, I mean, there's only so much I could say because I feel like it's almost we're a broken record with how good Real Sikh has been. But that's why I hope him and Tay-Rock is next because that's the other big challenge I think could really, really give him issues. There's some other people I want to see him versus Sharon, especially with how Sharon.
I don't know if you saw that. I pressed Sharon. He want me to, I think he wants me to lay off this Sharon talk a little bit, though.
Who, Real Sikh?
Yeah.
No, Real Sikh is very specific about the battles he wants to take. We know that. You know what I'm saying? Like he's very, very, very specific about battles he wants to take. So, and if you're rapping this good, you get to be a little bit more specific. But I think Sharon will probably beat him, to be honest with you. But that speaks. That's how much I think of Sharon. But he's gonna sit down and take the 2 or 3 plates he wants. I know he wants chess too. With the way chess look, we'll talk about that in a second. Wouldn't be a bad matchup. But man, Real Sikh is flawless. Like right now, he's having really a lot of flawless performances in a couple of years span. And I know Illmac's been on the more losing side recently, but don't let that take away from just I thought it was a top 3 performer of the weekend. And I hope he gets rocked.
Is Real Sikh doing what Av did in the sense of how he's winning a lot of battles in his career? Like, not can you compare him and Av a little bit or no? Am I bugging with that?
Yeah. They're going on years streaks of winning. They're not big talkers, so maybe it doesn't get like when Easy did it. He's also going crazy in the media. So it's like there's a superstar effect, but you get guys like Av and Sikh who are also winning by these margins. Granted, maybe not the same level of top comp that a guy like Easy did, but they just don't talk as much, or they just kind of pop out when they want to and do their thing. But I agree, 3. I mean, what he isn't taking a clear loss and shine. That was we were there, Lang. It's very long time.
I was gonna say on Sikh, but Sikh is starting to turn that corner though because we probably didn't see the more we seen his chest puffed out a little bit after the Illmac performance. He went on 15 minutes of fame, and I think Hip Hop is Real and said, "I'm the best battle rapper active right now." You know what I'm saying? So he's starting to turn that corner a little bit in terms of like, you know, promoting himself and stuff like that. But in terms of his performance, man, I knew he was gonna be good, but he was great. Like he was really, really good. Like maybe not to the level of the A-Ward battle, but still really good. And I loved his approaches. I loved the bar for bar attack that he had. I loved the fact that like he gave you the rapping pockets in the first round. In the second round, he kind of probes at angles here and there, and he's still kind of explosive. And then in the third round, he just closes strong, like the closer, man, and Avocado. Like, man, that was crazy. That was one of the craziest closes I've seen in a while, man. Now, Real Sikh was not playing.
What I like about Real Sikh about a lot of other battle rappers, I love the way he finishes rounds. He always makes battles, he always finishes rounds with a nice bar. Like, you know, some Jersey or some bullshit. Real Sikh to out in his craft, man. Rum Nitty versus Daylight. Who wants to grab that?
I'm already seeing. I check the comments. You know what I'm saying? Because and you know the Light Patrol is already out there, man. You know what I'm saying? And that's why we don't.
The Light Patrol.
You YouTube comment people, man. You're not real people, man. You know what I'm saying? Like it just feels like it's sometimes. I'll admit. Now listen, I think that a great example what this battle is that Light has just been a bit overrated.
Okay.
He's not a legend either. So like this is the thing is I think his expectations so many people set is this Rock battle, which is a all-timer performance. But like a lot of people think that is just it. Now he's done some really good stuff. He was a legend in the top tier before that. Charlie Clips,
Chilla Jones,
Rich Dollars. He beat Calico in Detroit. Like he beat a Verb. Like there's so in their primes for the most part as well. But it's just not, he's not just some unbeatable force. Like he's lost battles. He's lost to O-Red. He's lost to Loso when he tried. Then that's not even kind of the antic battles and stuff. I don't think Light is really bad in this battle. I just think that he's decent, maybe even solid or good. And I just think that Rum Nitty is a better battle rapper than him. And I just think that they got to lock in and you saw it at a different level. I don't hate Daylight's first. I know there's some people acting like when you play it back, it's a whole different round. Like he had some biblical schemes, and this is a great example of what he's good at. Chaining together great rapping, but the references aren't that crazy. The rap, sure, and like he had the Exodus 23:9, and it's all about aliens. You know what I mean? I get it. Like there's some stuff in there. Some people say just because they don't understand, great bar in the third. Just because you don't understand doesn't mean he's dying. And just because it's complex does not make it the best shit ever. It's just complex. And I think that Nitty was able to be equally as complex while still giving you digestible bars, while being way more tailored, rapping way more about Light. Some people will just turn around and still be like, he's a puncher and only name flips. If you're watching this battle and say that, you kind of made up your mind before you watched the battle. I thought he did a great job breaking down Light's character. So I thought Light had a decent first with some dry spots. Rum Nitty had a great first round and was up 1-0. Daylight's thing in the second is just, it's an attack on hip hop.
What is going through your brother's mind? Let me ask you, what's going through your brother's mind when y'all see Daylight with the shenanigans in the second?
I was gonna say, I was like, man, he what I thought was like, okay, because I had Nitty kind of comfortably taking the first, and obviously Nitty goes dumb in the second, right? And then Daylight goes, and then he chokes, and he said, you know what? I'm not rapping. I thought I was like, okay, this is a play because he know that Rum Nitty kind of went nuts in a second. So instead of trying to rap and fight back, he's going to just take attention off of what Rum Nitty did in the second. Because that's he's known, because like I remember when he battled Magic, he's like, hey, my goal is not to win this battle, it's to make Magic disappear. Like he spent 3 rounds of doing Yeah. So like
the Lux and Hollow card.
Yeah, that's when he did the whole Matrix shit and all that. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I mean. That's the first thing I thought of. I'm like, damn, this guy is gonna try to like mess up the battle, try to make it more about what he didn't do than about what happened.
I didn't like that. I didn't like that shit. They like this. I didn't like that shit at all. I gotta be.
But someone like me is not gonna forget what Nitty did in this and do as Nitty is doing. You know what I'm saying? Because Nitty's second. Like I know people. Like I know in the first, right, he gave you the mask and he gave you like a bunch of theatrics there. But in terms of the content, I really loved his second round. His second round,
crazy Nitty rounds, man. That was the best round of the battle in my opinion. So Nitty was up 2-0. Nitty was up 2-0 clear going into the third. And then I think the third is still debatable, but I edged the third to Daylight, who had an incredible round. I just think Nitty had an incredible round as well, but I thought Daylight started matching him in peaks. And then, he knew he was losing. I'm a 30 him in one round. I see what he's doing. I actually saw a comment on it because I was looking at what we were talking. Someone's like, I actually do believe he 30 him in one round. Fucking cheap. But that's just kind of the nature of the fan base. That's kind of like the cult that he runs. And I'm not mad at seeing Daylight like battle. Like I'm not one of those people that now that he lost, I'm like, get him out of here. Nah, like there's good matchups still out there for Daylight. We're never gonna get Daylight and Shine. I would still love that battle, but where the hell is K Shine? So who knows what's gonna happen there? I'm not even like disgusted with Daylight and Lux still. Like it's the detox, you know what I'm saying? A battle rap, but like I still don't think that it's a bad matchup. Like I just think that there's more. Like some people just woke up and they're like, yo, Light's really, really good. He's great, but he could lose. He's like any other battle rapper, and it's just as simple as that. And we've seen people give Nitty his praise, debatably pound for pound #1 still. He has been for a couple of years. He's still in that combo now. So I just think it was a great 2-1 career W for Nitty versus a decent Daylight that was trying.
Let me ask you fellas a question. How do we feel about Daylight? As lyrical as he is, he's not direct enough.
Well, I think the directness, right, it's always interesting, right? Because I'm a person that just likes creativity and bars and stuff like that. So for me, I think that the separation occurs when someone is bombing on you and it's direct, and then you just have solid indirect material. That's where like there's a discrepancy. But if your opponent is like obviously not the best, and you have an indirect round, but it's like amazing,
right?
There's exceptions, like not it's not a one glove fits all type situation. But when you clearly have Nitty just bombing on you, and then you come with like a bunch of obscure references that doesn't really connect with your opponent, and you're trying to give like this overarching message to the world, it's just and again, Daylight is known to like rap. To, like break the fourth wall and rap to the audience, but the issue here is that the person that's rapping in front of him is rapping some of the best shit. You know what I'm saying? And you can't sacrifice a round to do that when someone is literally bombing on you in the battle. So that's how I feel about that.
Absolutely.
Daylight is still top 5, top 3 pen of all time. Like I don't just take him out of the combo. I definitely top 5 of all time. Top 3 is a more debatable topic, but Daylight's for sure top 5. Like I would never take that away from him. But as Nitty said it best in the second round, times have changed. And that was so we're at where we're at. I think Nitty was actually, and some people didn't. I thought Nitty was performer of the weekend. I thought he was really, really, really rose to the occasion.
Really?
And they talk so much about Daylight. I would take. I think
over Jay. Over Jay.
Over Jay, over Real Sick, over Ill Will.
You gotta. He used everything to his disposal in that, because Nitty has different.
Jokes.
Yeah, like Nitty is usually like a person that will just bomb on you, with crazy bars. But he used everything that he could use. He used schemes. He did callbacks. He remixed. I don't know if people caught onto this, but he actually remixed that double slit experiment bar that Daylight did against Los into his own version of it and made it crazier. And obviously the callback from MK to 2K, like he utilized that. He touched on the Diddy angle in a creative way. The going, what was it? Daylight will go into prison. Going straight. Come out of Rainbow. Like come on, like
gargoyle. This is a great example. People will just say it's punches. He had the gargoyle bar, which is fire. You know what I'm saying? But
there's substance in there.
He's breaking down. You're such a legend, but all those moments I got to before you. He said, I beat Shine before you. Were saying you didn't even get to battle Shine. Granted, him and Shine is a debatable all-time battle, but like I battled him before you. Said he bodied Rock. He didn't do that either. I'm not gonna. He's stretching the truth a little bit, but he's saying I got to the resume way before you did. I got to the rooftop. Like all this about what you've done. Yet on paper, I'm the one that's actually accomplished all this shit. And then into the gargoyle bar. That's Nitty at his best, punching on a topic. So I just thought it was a great performance. But like I said, I want to even give some props to Light. Like I know it's kind of the thing to kick him while he's down, and like he deserved it for that bullshit in the second. That is not what Cool Mo D and Busy B envisioned for the game. You know what I'm saying? But I still think he was decent. I just think this says more about Nitty than it does about Daylight. So I know we spent a lot of time in that battle, but it's worth it. It's an important battle, and I can't wait to. I hope Daylight doesn't just run back away. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm down to see him battle a couple more times in the next few years.
But I'll give you grace, Daylight, man, because I gotta be out of breath. If you don't rap against Loaded Lux, I'll be good, sir. All this savior battle rap city running away, you ain't no goddamn savior, bro. I respect you,
bro. We get in.
But he's a legend. But that's it. He's just a legend. He's not God. Yeah. Not this. He's just like any other top tier that we watch.
Right. I'm about to say we was about to get 2017, 2016 3. And then a little bit, we was about to get vintage 3. Let's go 3. Nah, but I will say that like Daylight's third is like that's the Daylight experience. Like the what are you doing? And this is amazing, but why the hell do you not do this for 3 rounds? This is the Daylight experience, because this third round was actually really good, really good. Like even if you want to say that, like, because I guess they try to use the directness in the third round too, because you could say like, oh well, he's talking about like all these things that kind of correlate with rum, the substance as opposed to the person or whatever, yada yada yada. To me, it still works. You know what I'm saying? It's still creative. Crazy bar about the only thing I got for rum is a double barrel. Ridiculous. How have I not heard? How have I not heard that before? There's a lot of amazing stuff there. You know what I'm saying? And I think that Daylight at that with those particular rhymes and that particular pocket can hang with almost anybody. You know what I'm saying? So, and yes, I would want to see him back in the ring. You know what I'm saying? If it's Lux, that would be good. Or honestly, if it's just any other top tier guy, I would be down to see him. Like, you know what I'm saying? So,
I say this gentleman's top tier, but just on the conversation alone, I wouldn't mind seeing Jay the Nightwing versus Daylight. I know that would never happen, but I would
It'll never happen, but that would be so
that would be crazy.
That would be crazy battle.
So good, dude. But it's just tough because like he doesn't actually respect the game. That's why like I don't mind people kind of kicking the shit out of me. There's like he literally says like battle rap's dumb and like I hate it, and it feels like he comes in just for a check. But if his heart was really still in the game, a battle like him and Jay the Nightwing has like classic potential.
Yeah, I like him and Jay.
I mean, shout out to him. It had God tier results, and it's a battle we cared a lot about. So,
next battle, fellas, another surprise battle. Chess versus
your boy is happy. The boy is happy over here.
I got Chess. Yeah, Chess. Finally, good Lord, brother. It's been a while, Chess. I mean, good Lord. We've seen Small and Lang been kicking my ass for how many years? Chess. So finally, give us something I can talk crazy to my brothers about. I got Chess 2-1, fellas. First and third.
First and third, right?
I'm not mad at it. I mean, I think the third is a lot closer than what people said, but I'm not mad at it because I feel like Chess had the you really like that what's that crab legs line or whatever. You love that crab legs. Three's Nike and three's Yankees fitted lit up when that bar happened. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? But that was a really good battle, and honestly, you know, some of us was privy to that being a surprise battle before it happened. You know what I'm saying? And you know, I'm not gonna lie, we were skeptical because Swamp is not really the best on short prep, and we all know Chess is not the best on short prep. And those gentlemen put on a really good show.
Before you go,
who'd you have, Mike?
Chess told Swamp he wasn't gonna rap. Same thing Cortez almost. I'm not gonna rap longer, and Chess did rap longer, though, little bro. You did. You rap way longer.
Yeah.
Chess just rapped 11-minute rounds, man. This is in his DNA. But I'm not gonna lie to you, 3. And 3, you know the hell I'd be giving you. I got Chess 2-1 as well, man. I got Chess winning the battle. For a long time, I said that sentence out loud, but I got Chess in the first and third. I'm not mad at no one that's got Swamp second and third, but I kind of comfortably gave it to Chess, to be real. No disrespect to Swamp. It's just like I thought Chess was that good. But there's a lot of debate for Swamp second and third, so definitely it's going to go down a debatable battle. It's one of those just a good look for both gentlemen, but I think Chess really needed a good look in this moment more than Swamp did. And now we can get the ball rolling again on Chess and Fonz and Chess and Ununice and Chess whoever, you know what I'm saying? Like there's great battles out there still for Chess. He's still so young, man. I think Chess is like a year older than me, like 2 years older than me or some shit like that.
Chess
like,
is
Chess should still be a star for years to come, bro. So it's really like it's better for the sport when he's in good form. He's just not very often. So I hope this is a start of something like his 2021, where now the next 3 or 4 chess battles are really like that. And especially after the Lou battle, I got really worried because he didn't even choke any lost that one. But night and day difference versus a better opponent at that. Got nothing but respect for Chess. Got him in the first and third. It was one of the better battles of the night. Real high point for both for Apollo.
Are you gentlemen worried about Swamp at all?
In terms of what?
Easy.
A-Ward easy coming up. And he just
the A-Ward battle, yes. The A-Ward battle, yes. Because I feel like now I know A-Ward said that the material I got for Twerk I can't use against anybody else. Battlers be lying. No, I'm gonna keep it real. Like he's for sure. He's for sure clipped up. You know what I'm saying? So am I worried for Swamp a little bit in the A-War battle? Yes. Easy battle, not so much, because I know that what that battle is to him, and you know what that battle, you know, will be, you know what I'm saying? And it's kind of like his lane of talk. But the A-War battle, yes, because A-War is very dynamic and versatile. But besides that, nah, man, I'm not really worried about.
No, I mean, I already had easy beating Swamp. I still think it's gonna be a good battle, but like none of this changed. I think he's battling too much. Like Chess was a great result, but he lost to Coffee. Obviously, we haven't heard great things about the Marv battle. A-Ward 2 weeks after Easy, I don't think there's any way he beats A-Ward. Like, I think he already is gonna have a tough fight versus Easy. 2 weeks later, you got a guy that's like almost just as good, and especially on shorter prep. So I just think he should lay back. But he's last year he picked his plates a little more careful. You know what I'm saying? He really had 5 or 6 big
I don't.
Nah, and that's so, you know, we'll see when we get there. I'm definitely like a little worried because I think his form is getting worse than last year, but I already had him losing to Easy, so it's not like now I'm like, oh, I'm doing a big switch. Kind of the opinions I had to begin with. So I just think he needs to battle a little bit less. That worked last year, but who am I to tell him, bro? You know what I mean?
And really quick, just for the sake of the conversation, because we mentioned Chess age, Chess will be turning 27 this year. Wow. Because I remember against Av late 2016, I just turned 18 6 days ago or something like that. He said against Av. Yeah. So yeah, he's 27. To put that in perspective for us, that's been watching him for how long we've been watching him. So crazy.
One more battle. Is it one more battle? I think.
Yeah, one more battle. Chilla Jones versus Verb, fellas. Talk to me.
This reminds me of when Ill Will and Big T battled after Verb and Murder Mook. It's like it's there, but it's like, and you know how like in wrestling the main event goes on like second to last instead of going last? Like how like they did Rock and Hogan the second to last match, and then they did Chris Jericho and Triple H. That's how I feel about this battle. I'm like this good up for
bad battle. It's not even a bad battle. It just has no energy whatsoever.
Yeah.
And they stuck to the time limits. I don't know how you got. I had Chilla 2-1. He was a cool Verb. You know,
it was cool.
It was cool enough for the Verb people to be like, he was a warrior. He won, like whatever. But I had Chilla winning pretty clear. And Verb's got a lot of battles coming up. Verb's got JC coming up. He's got Av coming up. And I'm not gonna lie, knowing him, because I think he needs battles right now. He does this thing where he's like, I'm gonna leave battle rap.
Verb.
And then he books. Yeah, it's time to pay bills. So Verb is paying bills right now, and I think that you could even see him maybe double back for the Nitty battle just for like some name on name sake type of battling. And he's, you know how I feel about Verb in and out of the ring. It is what it is. But like this wasn't like an ass Verb performance. In fact, I had him winning around. So I just think Chilla handled it, angled it a little bit better, but the energy was kind of dead by the time you get to this one. So.
Yeah, and I think I'm at a point now because you know I'm a strong Chilla advocate, probably one of his biggest advocates in the culture. But I think Chilla's at a point now where like Verb was one of the last people he wanted to cross off of his list to battle, and now that he got that battle, I feel like he's going to completely go into like league owner mode now because there's not really many matchups left for him. He could give shots, you know what I'm saying? Like there's a couple people he can give shots to, up and comers and whatnot. But in terms of like those top tier matches, and I think he said this before, Rex was the one person he wanted, and then Verb was the one person that he wanted. Now we're at a point now where he may come out once in a blue moon, and he's just really handling behind the scenes work.
Hey, with the bag they got at TBL, hey, Loaded Lux, man. They got some money for you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But like, you never know what TBL's booking, man. So
yeah.
I thought Chilla and Verb could be a little better, but then again, I thought
I think that you can.
In my opinion, I don't think they should have ended the night with that battle.
Well, that and I know that Chilla said that he was going to put a lot into this battle because he really wants to like beat Verb, especially because of the back and forth ouch. And Verb used to talk crazy about Chilla back in the day, so I
What?
know he still had that.
Man,
He used to talk crazy about Chilla back in the day.
crazy. Yo,
But
I just saw a Verb back in 2015. I'll never forget this. He was dragging Chilla. I'm talking about
when the Hitman tried to set up the card, it was going to be Verb and Chilla, and it was going to be Hitman and Shook.
Yes.
This is before Hitman and Shook. And then the text leaked where Chilla was like, "Oh, I'm trying to get my gnomes and SMs up. Look how far we've come, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
now
that's crazy.
Throwing the gnomes and SMs in a sense.
Yeah.
So, and even he won in a light battle, but good full circle moment for him, man. He's a Hall of Famer that doesn't always get his full credit, and now he's potentially running one of the big three, like biggest leagues in battle rap. So, hats off to him.
Yeah,
fellas, we've been rocking up almost 2 hours here. I appreciate y'all. TBL, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna holler at y'all boys. I appreciate y'all, man.
All right,
always. Shout out my man Slow Lang. I know the vibes already.